guys, so today we are going to be talking about common denominators and equivalent fractions. So our essential question is, how can you rewrite a pair of fractions so that they have a common denominator? So you can follow along on page 269 in your Go Math books. So we're going to be rewriting two fractions so they have a common denominator. So this is really just what we did yesterday with subtracting fractions and what we did with adding fractions, because we had to have those pair of fractions have a common denominator. But the sheet for today, all you have to do is find that common denominator, and you are not adding and subtracting, you're just finding the common one. So our problem is Sarah planted two 1-acre gardens. One had 3 sections of flowers and the other had 4 sections of flowers. She plans to divide both gardens into more sections so they have the same number of equal-sized sections. How many sections will each garden have? So you can use a common denominator. That means both denominators are the same. Or a common multiple of 2 or more denominators to write fractions that name the same part of a whole. So we're going to go down here to another way. So it says make a list of the first 8 non-zero multiples of 3 and 4. So all we're going to do is list the multiples of 3 and then list the multiples of 4. Let me go here and do this. Okay. So multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, and then 24. Now we're going to list the multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, and 32. So we need to circle the common multiples. We know we're finding the LCM, so we know we need to find the least common multiple. But it wants us to go ahead and circle both of the common multiples. So first we're going to look at our multiples. So 12 will be our LCM. And then they also have another multiple in common, which is 24. And that will come into play in just a second, but we really want the LCM, which is this one. So use one of the common multiples as a common denominator to rewrite equivalent fractions for 1/3 and 1/4. So we know that our denominator is going to have to be our LCM. So our denominator is going to have to be 12 on both of these. So now we need to ask ourselves, 3 times what equals 12? 3 times 4 equals 12. So whatever I do to the denominator, I do to the numerator. So I'll multiply it by 4. 1 times 4 is 4. Now for our next one, what do we multiply by 4 to get 12? We multiply 4 by 3 to get 12. So we need to also multiply the 1 by 3. So now we have 4 12ths and 3 12ths. So both gardens can either have 12 sections, or this always circled this other one, 24 sections. But we want to stick with our LCM, our lowest one, so we don't have to simplify. All right. Let's go ahead and scroll down. All right, so let's look on page 371 together. So we are going to find the least common denominator, or LCM, least common multiple, to make our fractions denominators the same. So for number 5, I'm going to add this handy dandy shape here just so I have more room to write. All right, so for number 5, we have 5 9ths and 4 15ths. So we need to list the multiples for 9 and list the multiples for 15. So let's start with 9. So all we're doing is skip counting. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, and we can stop there. Now we're going to list the multiples for 15. So 15, 30, 45, and then 60. So looking at these multiples, our lowest one that they have in common is going to be 45. Even though that's a high number, that is the lowest one that they have in common. So we're going to use that one. So we have 5 ninths, and then we have 4 15ths over here. So we need our denominator. Oh, I'm going to run out of room. Hold on. Let me back up here. Let me write it smaller. We have 5 ninths, and then we have 4 15ths. All right, so we know that our denominator, when we change it, is going to be 45 because that was our LCM or LCD. So both of these are going to change into 45. So let's look at 5 ninths. 9 times what would give me 45? So if you guys want to even look at your multiples, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that means 9 times 5 would give you 45. So whatever you do to the bottom, you need to do to the numerator. So also multiply that by 5. And so I have 25 over 45. So now let's look at our 4 15ths. 15 times 1, 2, 3 gives me 45. And I need to do that to my numerator as well. 4 times 3 gives me 12. So my new fractions are 25 over 45 and 12 over 45. What was the question asking? Can I move this little thing? I can move this up. Yeah. All right, so that's what we did. We used the common denominator to write the equivalent fraction for each fraction. All right, so this is all you're going to be doing for it's a page down here. So you're also going to tell me what the common denominator is, and then you're going to rewrite the equivalent fractions. All right, thank you guys.